Peace, love, and light. And today, I wanted to, I wanted to just talk about what I was thinking about today, and it was basically that you are everything. Every story, every movie, every thing that you can imagine is literally about you. Everything is about you, but it's like kind of like it's kind of like hard to explain because it's like a strange secret. Like the biggest secret in the world is that everything is about you and you are everything. Whether it be the movies that you like or the thing that you think is the government, the thing that you think is money, the thing that you think is against you, everything is literally about you in the sense that it's all connected to you because it's all in your reality, it's all you and nothing is separate from you. Like the idea of separation is truly an illusion. It's something I really grasped the concept of today while I was at work earlier, and I was just really thinking about how there literally is no separation of anything. Like every story that you've ever watched was literally about you, telling you something about you and your life that you didn't realize it was telling you about you and your life, but you may have like got some type of connection from it and you didn't realize why that is. And the story that I was thinking about that was really connected to my life and how it's connected to my life is Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. I was thinking about it again because, again, like I said, I'm writing a book and I mentioned something in the book that was connected to the Wizard of Oz. And so I was thinking about that, but I was thinking about how I use the Wiz as like your ego and how it's like the opposite of you and the thing that's against you that has all these illusions that makes it seem like it's stronger than it is. And then I was also thinking about how the straw man, the cowardly lion, and the tin man were like the positive side of your ego, the things that are in support of you that you are aware of that you meet along your path, and you come to understand, you come to be friends with, and you come to see the connections with them, and then you take them along on your journey. Like and some of the traits that they had, the scarecrow had the brains, but he was unsure of himself in the sense of he wasn't sure that he was smart. And you had the Tin Man who didn't have a heart, and he ended up having more heart than he realized. Like he was able to do things that he didn't realize he was able to do. And then you have the Cowardly Lion who was supposedly this big ferocious lion, and he's supposed to be scary, but he is scary. Like he took on the trait of the thing that he was supposed to be causing other people to take on. Like when they saw him, they were supposed to be afraid, but he was the thing that was afraid. He appeared to be more scary than he actually was. And those are the positive things that she took with her, in the sense of those are the things that she needed to take with her to grow. And that's things that we carry on with us in our life. We take on these things, like we have all this intelligence inside of us, which is the scarecrow, but we aren't sure of how to use it, or unsure of ourselves, in the sense of us not being aware that we have a brain that we could use to get out of the situations that we are in, and that we could use our intelligence to help others and to be confident in helping others. And then we have the Tin Man who has heart, but he is he's a Tin Man. He's a robot. So he moves a certain way, but he doesn't move freely. And then we have, of course, the Lion, who is supposed to be brave and courageous and all these things, but he's carrying along with him fear, the fear that most people would have when they see him. And these are the things that exist in your mind. Your mind is the house of much of your intelligence. It has buried treasures within it that you can get to if you seek them out and you understand that you are that power. And this is where the Wiz comes in, because the Wiz wasn't powerful, but he was the representation of that. Like, he was the projection of their collective minds. Like, everything that they were, he was the projection of that. And since he was the projection of that, he had the illusion that he was powerful and he had all these powers, he can do all these things. And that's what the mind does. It has all these things that it does or can do that you're actually capable of, and you're actually not pretending to be something that you're not to do so. Like, you can do it naturally, but your mind doesn't allow you to know that because it wants you to fear the things that you were able to do or not be aware of the things that you're able to do. This goes against the Scarecrow, where you're not aware of what you're able to do, and then you don't have the heart to do it because you're not aware that you are braver than you are until you go through something, and then you realize that you are actually braver than you are. And then you have the Lion. I think I'm mixing up the Tin Man a little bit, but if I am, I apologize. But then you have the Lion, who is not only appearing to be strong, which is a trait that the Wiz took from him. He gave the projection that he was strong by projecting on the screen and, giving this illusion that he was strong and bigger than he was. And then he was actually small. He was actually every projection of them that they could have had. Like, he represented the thing that they were supposedly lacking. And that's what it is in the world. Like, everything that you think is not you is really you. I used to think of Harry Potter as a story that was connected to me because his birthday was around the same time as my birthday, and then he had a scar in his head that came from an accident that he experienced in his life. And I connected to that story because of those two things, and I always felt like I was a powerful person, but I wasn't really in a world where I thought that the things that Harry Potter could do was possible. But now I live in a world where I know that I can speak things into existence. I have magic in my words, and I can do other things, and I'm very brave and courageous and all these things that Harry Potter was. But I identified with those things when I was watching the story of Harry Potter. And I didn't realize how connected it was to my actual life, because these things that he represented are things that exist within inside of myself. And it's not just inside of me, it's inside of you as well. And then another story that I connect to a lot is the Avatar, where this is literally, and I didn't say this about the Wizard of Oz or the Wiz, whichever one you want to refer to, but all these things go on within inside of the body. So all the traits that you had, that the Lion, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Wiz, and even the witches had, were traits that exist within inside of Dorothy's body. And not only did they exist inside of Dorothy's body, they existed inside of her subconscious mind, because this whole world that she was in was a world that she created in her subconscious when she went down the tornado, which the tornado was inside of her. That's her and her spirit. That's her going into the spiritual realm, because that's what the tornado is. That's how the spirit moves inside the body. It moves inside of a column that if you look at it on the outside of a body, it looks like a cyclone or a tornado. I know the cyclone and tornado is technically the same thing. I think a cyclone is like dealing with water. But anyway, but that's what it looks like inside the body, and that's what it feels like inside of the body. But when you go down, when you descend, or you're lowered down into the body, and you go into a different reality, you go down into the eye of the tornado, which is total calmness, and it's peaceful, but you're in a lowered state, and you are in a world of illusion, where the illusions are more powerful than your understanding. And since the illusions are more powerful than your understanding, you think that certain things are real that are not. And you start to believe in that world, even though you could be like Neo in the Matrix, where you're expecting to wake up. So you accept what you see, and you're also Neo in the Matrix. But that's another story. But Avatar was a story fully based on things that were going on inside of Aang's body, meaning that every character that you saw was based on 11, based on something that can occur in the body or does occur in the body. Whether it be the divine feminine, whether it be the inner child, whether it be the strength of you being grounded, whether it be your adversary representing fire or the ego that may appear further along than you are and may appear stronger than you are, but it's something that exists inside of you that you have to balance out, that you have to kind of bend to your will to nullify it, to make it neutral, and to make it balanced within yourself, and for you to have complete control over who you are, your entire whole being. And that's why, like, the story of Avatar is a total internal experience. So every time that you're looking at the Avatar, you're looking at something that's going on inside of Aang's body. Like, they tell you this throughout the language of the Avatar, but you have to understand that the language is not just simple words. Language has never been simple words. Every word that they used had a double meaning, and the meanings were so clear that you may have got it, but you may not have got it if you weren't paying attention. Like, for example, whenever they said back, like, one of the best examples was when they said Jet is back, when he was there for his last time he was fighting. I can't remember who the fight was with, but when Jet was under control of someone else's, I'm about to say jutsu, because I'm thinking of Naruto, but when he was under the control of another, I can't remember who it was, but when he was under control of them and they were manipulating his moves and his actions, he was the negative or the opposite side of Aang, meaning his shadow. That's why they said Jet is back. And I think it was Katara who said it specifically. So, and that's what that represented. But every time that you look at the Avatar, you're looking at something going on inside the body, something that they were trying to fix within inside the body. Just like when they were trying to get into Ba Sing Se and they were trying to drill the hole into it, and they had to mix the mud and the water. That's something that goes on inside the body, and I'll let you guess what it is. But that's something that was going on inside the body. Everything that you see in that series is something internal, and it represented something beyond the characters that you see on the screen. But this is every story in history. And not only is it every story in history, it's connected to you. Meaning everything is literally about you. It's the strangest secret in the world. Like, even the ancient Egyptians, every story that you see coming from Egypt is about you. Meaning, if you're reading a story about Thoth, if you're reading a story about Isis, if you're reading a story about Osiris, if you're reading a story about Anubis, whoever it is, it's about you. But you have to understand it's an aspect of you, meaning that it's a different part of you that you have to understand. And these characters are just there to give you an understanding of yourself. But you have to take yourself out of the mind of them just telling you a story, because it's not just a story. These are lessons that you have to look at and to learn about yourself. If you don't have the connection with yourself. But then again, I would say the stories will give you a deeper connection with yourself. Like it'll teach you to gradually go in. And you can start with something as small as a cartoon. Even though these cartoons are very informative, they teach you so much that even if you watch it when you're younger and you get older, you'll still have a certain attachment to it, and you'll still have certain understanding that came from watching those shows, and you will like be connected to it because those shows actually mattered and they taught you something that you weren't paying attention to. Hold on one second. And a lot of times, like, something I used to see on YouTube a lot is where they used to have like, I don't know what to call it, but they used to have these like videos where they would be like exposing cartoons, like showing like, you know, the all-seeing eye and all these kind of things, like calling it the Illuminati. But these things are teaching you something that you need to know to help you on your path. Like, nothing in this world is truly against you. It just appears that it's against you because of ignorance of what it actually is. We keep holding on to the idea that things are good or bad, but we're not paying attention to the fact that it's not good or bad. It's a lesson that we're not getting. And it's a connection with ourselves that we don't have, that we are telling ourselves that this is a bad thing or this is a good thing, when in reality it's just a lesson that we have to learn that will help us on our journey if we accept the fact that it is a part of our journey and it represents something more than what it appears to represent. One of the things that I actually say in the book is that your unconscious thoughts, all your unconscious thoughts that exist in your mind, and your unconscious mind is basically something that holds you back from allowing you to be yourself, because your unconscious thoughts are thoughts that you don't actively think about. And if you put the energy into actively thinking about your unconscious thoughts and committing the actions that your unconscious thoughts do, then you will have a greater oneness with yourself. You will become a more whole being. You will be a stronger being, and you will realize that your mind isn't supposed to be as strong as you are or stronger than you are. It's supposed to be a tool that you use, meaning that you are stronger than your mind, but you have to understand that your mind isn't supposed to be taking on the jobs of being you. It's supposed to be helping you. It's supposed to be more like a servant to you, like a tool to you, than it is supposed to be like helping you. And we keep giving the mind more power than it's supposed to have. And since we give the mind more power than it's supposed to have, you have things like big government, you have things like a boss that you go to the job and clock into, you have somebody that you pay rent to, you have all these things, and you basically are giving your power away. This is something that I'm coming to understand, but these are things that I'm also working on. So don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. These are things that I'm learning, and in learning these things, they're gonna help me get out of the idea that I need these things to sustain me or to make me feel like I'm normal or fitting into society. Because I'll just take, for example, like my views on becoming a banker rather than a customer at a bank has changed my mentality on a lot of things. I look at it like the game of Monopoly, where the bank was pretty much the strongest player in the game all the time, because no matter what happened with any player in the game, the bank was able to cash in on pretty much every transaction that transpired throughout the game. whether you wanted to buy a property or you wanted to get out of jail or whatever, you ended up paying the bank in some way, shape, or form, or the bank ended up having more money than anybody in the game, pretty much, because the bank was a neutral thing. It didn't really have a role other than to pass out money or to collect money and create ways to get money back from the players in the game. And that's what we have to do, and that's what I'm learning to do, is become a banker, because a banker is the strongest piece in this game as far as I know right now. And my understanding may go higher than even that, but a banker is the strongest piece in this game that we are playing. And you have to understand the importance of being a banker and how neutral it is and how money itself controls the world, and it's literally energy. And since it's literally energy, and energy is neither created nor destroyed, and it's something that is circulated throughout society, we have to understand how important it is to control the energy that we give out, that we circulate, and that we are putting into ourselves. I used to think that being vegan was the only way to do that, but it's more than that, and it's evolved to me thinking about things in higher ways and in different ways, and it's helped me to become a much more intelligent person, a much more I wanted to say intelligent, because I'm learning more about the world and the way things actually are through experience, but my vibrations and my frequencies have increased, and they've gone up so much since I've gained a more stronger connection with myself. And that comes from doing all kinds of healthy stuff. Like, one of the things that I do and I've been doing is I've been drinking things like this. This has, let me see if you can see it. This has hydrogen water in it with gold and platinum. So I drink gold water, and this one is gold and platinum, but I drink gold water and gold and platinum water, in the morning and in the night, because for one, it's good for you, but it actually does what it says. Like, the benefits that it says on this, it actually does. And even with gold water, it benefits you in ways that you can't even imagine. So it's very important for you to do healthy things. Like, it's important for you to eat, healthy food, but it's also important for you to take in healthy water. Like I said, I drink local water, or I drink water with platinum or gold in it. I do things that help me in different ways. Like, I even do breathwork classes and yoga. But you have to take on the healthy lifestyle. You can't just do one thing and think that that's enough, because it's not. But once you start out with one thing and you kind of get a handle of that, you do evolve naturally. But you have to be that type of person that wants to evolve. And in wanting to evolve, it could help you to do things that you wouldn't even imagine doing at this present state that you're at, if you're not, doing things like this. And I'm not saying that this is like the pinnacle, but I'm saying that this is a very important part of my journey. And since this is an important part of my journey, I felt that it's important to share it with other people. And yeah, I didn't intend for this to be long, but I'm kind of glad it is. But either way, I wanted to say that you are everything, and everything is literally about you. The strangest secret in the world is that every story that you see is about you and is teaching you how to get out of the situation that you're in. Especially if you're in a situation so deep that you can't see that you're in a situation that you're in. But every story that you're attracted to is literally about you and is teaching you something about you. You may think that you identify with the character for some strange reason or some random reason that doesn't really matter, but it does matter, because on the subconscious level, that is you, and it's helping you to understand something about yourself that you may not be taking in or grasping right now. I would encourage you, if you're watching like some type of show, or you watch or you read some type of book, to really understand why you're attracted to that book or that type of information, because it may be something with inside of you that is trying to communicate with you that you are not paying attention to. And if you're not paying attention to it, then you may not be getting the full benefit of it right now. And it may just take some time, because even with me, it took me a while to get why certain things were happening, because I would hear certain things and I would understand it, and I would get clear understanding of what it is that I was reading or what I was getting, but I didn't understand that it was connected to me. I just understood that certain synchronicities would happen, but the synchronicities have a greater meaning than even I realized. The synchronicities actually mean that your subconscious mind is becoming awake, and is becoming more in your control than it ever was. And since it's becoming more in control than it ever was by you, and it's becoming more into your awareness, you can have control over it. And you can not necessarily control, you have a greater understanding of it, and you'll be able to use it in a way that benefits you, rather than walking through the world without knowing how to use your subconscious mind and thinking that everything is against you. You can use it to benefit you and to help you grow and understand different things. And that's what I've been using it for. I've been using it to grow and help myself understand, like, this is the best way to get that understanding and to reflect myself, because I'm learning a lot through watching myself and speaking to myself. But it's also helping me to see the world in a different way. And I see the world through myself, but being able to go back and watch myself in time has helped me in so many ways. And that's something that I really want to pass on to others, like my message, the things that you see in the videos, but also the message that you are what's important, rather than me being what's important. You are what's important in the sense that you are the greatness that you see in me. Even if you don't see greatness, you see something in me that you may identify with, especially if you watch the video this long, because it's almost 30 minutes. So if you watch the video this long, you see something in me that you see within yourself that you may not be necessarily connected to. And I want to tell you that exists inside of you as well. And it's important for you to bring that out, because you are important to your world just as I am important to my world. And never put anybody over you, because you are feeding into an illusion. And that's giving your unconscious mind or your subconscious mind more power to create illusions against you, because it thinks that you need this as a conduit to understand certain things. And those things are basically representations of yourself. But like I said, I'm writing a book about this whole thing, and yeah, I'll hope to be done with it pretty soon. But it's so much information that comes through. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to put into it, but I'm going to try to put as much as I can into it, and I want to get it done by the end of next month, because my goal is just to have it done within the first 3 months. But it's a lot that I want to say in the book, and it's going to be a pretty good book, and I think it's going to benefit so many people. And yeah, with that being said, I love you, and I hope that you have a great day.